What's up, YouTube friends? Now, even though Valentine's Day is over, if you're like me, I keep up my Valentine's decorations till about St. Patrick's Day, and then I decorate for Easter. When I was going through our Valentine's decorations, I realized we do not have very much for Valentine's decorations, and we definitely don't have a wreath. So today I'm going to show you how to make this easy yarn and felt heart wreath. Now, it does take a little time, but it's pretty easy, and I'll show you how to do it next. Alright guys, so you can probably hear that my wash machine is going on the background. I hope it's not too annoying, but I had a bunch of laundry to do this week. So I'd just like to apologize in advance for that. So the things that you're going to need to make this wreath are a styrofoam wreath form. Now this one just happens to be 14, but you could make it bigger or smaller depending on your preference. You're also going to need one skein of yarn. Now the finished wreath should look like an Argyle sweater kinda, and I got this idea off of Pinterest. So this is kind of a flecked modeled yarn here. I got this at Walmart, so it's the Red Heart brand. And the name of this yarn is Aran Fleck. Now to make the hearts for our heart wreath, you're going to need 2 pieces of felt. Today I'm going to use pink and white, but you could use pink and red, red and white, or even multicolored like those conversation hearts. And you're also going to need a heart template. Now I got this one online. It's 2.5 inches, but you can go ahead and just draw one if you feel comfortable doing that. And of course, I just went ahead and stuck it on some cardboard. You're also going to need a piece of ribbon. Now this is to hang our wreath, so it could be any length that you want, but I think I'm going to do about a 12-inch piece here. And finally, you're going to need your glue gun and some glue sticks. So let's get started. So the very first thing that we're going to do is go ahead and wrap our entire wreath form with this yarn. Now you only need to do one layer, but you want to make sure that it's nice and close together so you don't see any of the white. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to glue about 1 inch to 2 inches down on my wreath here. Alright guys, so now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap my entire wreath here, making sure that my yarn is nice and close together. Alright guys, so this is going to be the most time consuming part of the project here. So what I like to do is just go ahead, do a few wraps, and then go ahead and tighten them down and make sure there's no white showing. And every now and then I'll just go ahead and add another little dot of glue, just to make sure my wraps don't move. So I'll just bring you back here when this is all wrapped. Alright, so I finally finished wrapping my wreath form here, and it took me about 45 minutes. So this would be one of those perfect projects to go ahead and sit in front of the TV and do. And as you can see, I have about 1/2 skein of yarn left, so you don't really need that much. Now I just love the way that this turned out with the flecks of color in it. I think it looks really beautiful. So now I'm just going to set this off to the side and grab my felt. So now I'm just going to take my 2.5 inch template here, and I'm going to trace some hearts out. So I'm guessing I'm going to need about 8 to maybe even 10 hearts per color here. So what I did is I went ahead and I put 6 hearts on 1/2 of my felt. So now I'm just going to fold it in half. I'm going to throw a pin in the middle of each of these hearts. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out. So each time I cut out one of these hearts, I'm actually cutting out 2. That's just going to save me a little more time here. So I'm going to take my sharp fabric scissors and just cut out the hearts. Now I'm going to do that to my white and my pink felt. So there's one of the hearts cut out, and I have 2 pieces. Now I went ahead and I just used a pencil here to trace out my outline. You could also use a pin, but you just want to make sure that it won't show through, especially on the white hearts. So I'm going to continue to cut out these white ones and do the same with my pink felt. Alright guys, so I cut out my pink hearts and my white hearts, and I have 8 of each. So now I'm just going to lay out how I want my wreath. So first I'm going to take a white heart here, and I'm going to place it right at the top. Just like that. And I want the heart right side up. So now I'm going to take a pink heart, and I'm going to lay it directly opposite of the white heart, but I'm going to do it upside down. As you can see here, the point of this heart is facing in towards the middle of the wreath, and I want the points of the pink facing out. So now I'm just going to alternate all the way around to fill out my wreath. Just like that. And at this point, I like to stand up and stand over my wreath and just make sure they all look evenly spaced. It doesn't have to be perfect. Alright, so that looks pretty good to me. Next, I'm just going to take my glue gun. I'm going to go to each heart, and I'm just going to put a dot of glue under the heart. Now at this point, you do not have to glue down your whole hearts. I'm just going to put a little dot on each heart just to make sure they don't go anywhere. So now that I have all my hearts glued down here, I'm going to take my yarn one more time, and I'm going to glue a section here onto the back first. Now I like to put a little glue dot here right at the top of the wreath. That way I could go ahead and hide this with my ribbon. So now with my yarn, I'm going to do a crisscross pattern on each of these hearts. So first I'm going to go one way. Alright guys, so it should look like that. And without cutting my yarn, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap it the other direction, forming that crisscross. Now if you want, you could go ahead and just add little dots of glue to the back here to keep your yarn in place, or you could go ahead and just use some little pins. Alright guys, so now that I finished wrapping it with that crisscross pattern, I'm going to turn over my wreath, add another dot of glue, and cut my yarn. Alright guys, so it should look like this, and I think it turned out really cute. Now you could go ahead and glue down these points if you want to, but I think it looks great just the way it is. So now I'm just going to take a 12-inch piece of ribbon here. I went ahead and I pinked the edges so they're not going to fray. So I flipped my wreath around to the back side. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the ribbon to glue the two pieces together. And then I'm just going to glue it to the back of my wreath here. And just to make sure this ribbon doesn't fall off, I'm going to take these little pins and stick it through the ribbon also. Now I'll just go hang it on the door and we'll see what it looks like. Alright, so here's what it looks like on the door, and I think it looks great. Now it wasn't very hard to make. It did take a little while wrapping all that yarn around the wreath form, but it wasn't that bad. I also think this would look great for St. Patrick's Day. Instead of doing the hearts, you could do 2 different kinds of greens and shamrocks. I hope you give this project a try. If you like this project and want to see more of my projects, go down below and hit the big red subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up. If you'd like to be notified as to when I post one of my videos, hit the bell button right next to the subscribe button. If you have a question about this video or any of my other videos, or would like to leave a suggestion for a future upcoming video, leave me a comment. Feel free to share this video across your social medias. Head on over to Facebook for Scrappy's Patch and hit that friend button if you'd like to share pictures and ideas for your craft projects. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.